Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Living the Sweet Life. I'm your host, TJ Sweet, and on this podcast, we are committed to helping you go from where you are to where you want to be. Whether that's in your personal life, your leadership life, or your business life, we're here for all of it. And how we're going to do that is three simple ways. We're going to help you live with intention, reshape your mindset, and look at the world through a grateful lens. As we grow and as we learn with intention, we start to lead with intention and then live with even more intention in every area of our lives. So before we get too far along in this episode, I want to say thank you for tuning in like you do every week, for dedicating time on Mondays. Maybe it's not even on Mondays. Maybe you just catch up whenever you can. Your support and your encouragement means a lot to me, so thank you. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button now so you get notifications when those episodes come out, because it's a good reminder, one, that there's a new episode out, but two, that you're committed to your growth and your development as a person and as a leader. So this week, I want to talk about something that I get to do a lot with my clients, with my executive coaching clients, and when I get to be on stage speaking, because it is a topic that goes widespread across every industry. There's this sense of performance in every organization, every business, every group of people. But we kind of put performance as how did we perform? This week, I want to talk to you about the habits that lead to high performance. So we're going to talk a lot about how to develop high performance habits this week, but it can't just be focused on what we get from how we perform. It has to be focused. You reshape and rethink about the habits that are actually the high performance habits that lead you to the better performance that you're striving for. So let's dig in on how to develop high performance habits. So, in leadership, our daily habits create the foundation for both our personal success and the success of the people we get to lead. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to a greater culture of productivity, focus, and resilience. Leaders set the tone through their habits. The choices we make, whether we prioritize strategic thinking or get bogged down in reacting to all these different tasks, those things shape our energy and the values of our teams. When leaders cultivate high performance habits, they not only enhance their own effectiveness, but they inspire their teams to follow in that same path. Building these impactful habits that we're going to talk about is more science than just luck. There's some great research from books like Atomic Habits by James Clear and The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg that show us that tiny adjustments in our behavior compound over time, leading to profound and sustainable changes. For leaders, this means that we focus on developing consistent positive habits. They drive growth, they cultivate resilience, and improve both personal and team productivity. So let's first talk about the power of habits and why they matter, right? Why are habits so powerful? And truthfully, it's because they remove the need for willpower and daily tasks or relying on energy. When habits are automatic, we conserve mental energy for critical decisions, strategic thinking, and the high impact actions. For leaders, building these high performance habits really allows you to focus on the essential priorities without being overwhelmed by routine demands. And this fosters an environment where both leaders and the team feel empowered to work efficiently, which makes them want to innovate and grow. So let's talk about some of the key habits when we're talking about high performance leaders. So developing high performance habits starts with intention. This is what we do on this podcast. Leaders benefit most from habits that emphasize focus, productivity, and their own personal growth. Well, I'll kind of walk you through a couple of impactful habits that I've seen and used in my own life that help me transform my leadership style, that will help you transform your leadership style to create a thriving team that is focused on growth. So first thing, you have to prioritize tasks every morning. Start each day by identifying top priorities and establish a clear focus. This Atomic Habits book reminds us that small actions can lead to big outcomes, and by taking 5 minutes each morning, which we have 5 minutes, to set an agenda or outline these must-dos, you gain clarity and prevent distractions from steering you off course. And one of the other things we need to start doing is we need to start ending meetings with action steps, not just have a meeting to meet. Meetings without outcomes waste time and dilute the team's focus. Make it a habit to close each meeting by assigning action steps. This ensures alignment, accountability, continuity, and as everyone leaves knowing exactly what to do next. It also shows that you actually value your team's time and their contribution, creating a culture of purpose and progress where people look forward to the meetings. They don't dread them like they may already right now. The next thing you have to do is create some time blocks for deep work, protecting time in your day for uninterrupted focus work. By setting aside deep work hours, you can prevent just these reactive tasks from taking over and creating space for strategic thinking and planning and innovation. And it's okay to shut your door if you're doing something to help the team, because high-performance leaders know that deep work is essential for meaningful progress. One of the other things that is really important when it comes to high-performance habit is practicing gratitude. Leaders who regularly reflect on their accomplishments and those of their teams cultivate a positive and resilient team culture. Make it a habit to end each day by identifying one thing you're grateful for or one accomplishment worth celebrating. This simple habit builds morale and reminds both you and your team of the positive impact of your work and the movement you're making. We also have to build reflection into the week. The best leaders learn from experience. Set aside time weekly to reflect on challenges and successes and areas for growth. Whether it's a Friday afternoon or a quiet Sunday evening, use this time to evaluate what's working and what needs adjustment. This habit not only improves your performance, but it also allows you to pivot when necessary. So instead of just weeks going by and months going by, be more intentional, be more present. So let's talk about now, how do we actually start doing some of these things? So building effective habits isn't about overhauling your routine overnight, right? Again, small changes. Start small, pick one area to focus on, and build from there. Now, I want to walk you through some steps to make these high-performance habits actually stick. Consistency over intensity. So I'm going to they use this term, identify keystone habits, which certain habits known as keystone habits have a ripple effect in every area of our life. For example, creating a to-do list can increase your focus across all of the tasks, which then improves team coordination and communication. Choose one keystone habit that aligns with your goals and prioritize it. The next thing we have to do is attach habits to existing routines. Again, habit stacking, adding new habits onto existing routines make it easier for them to stick, makes them less threatening. For example, if you already start your day with coffee, use that time to review your priorities. That's the stacking. So attaching habits to current actions can help you implement them without overthinking. But again, like we've talked about, we have to be able to track and celebrate progress. Keep a record of your progress. This is a habit that's important because whether it's a checklist or a digital tool, tracking, reinforces positive behavior and keeps you accountable. Celebrating small wins also builds motivation and momentum. It's about progress, less about accomplishment. But we also have to be pretty flexible and adapt when we need to. Habits shouldn't be rigid. It shouldn't be something that we've always done because we always do it. They have to evolve to fit your needs. If a habit doesn't align with your goals, don't hesitate to adjust it. Flexibility keeps habits relevant and aligned with your growth. So now we've talked about the habit. Let's talk about how it actually impacts your team. So as a leader, your habits shape the team's culture. That's some responsibility and accountability we have to own. But when you model behaviors like prioritization, focus, and continuous learning, your team will see these habits as valued and worth emulating. This is a culture. So leaders who adopt these high-performance habits create an environment that encourages focus and accountability and growth. These traits become embedded in the team's culture, the way they act daily, leading them to higher productivity, job satisfaction, and overall the way they work together and creating a cohesive team. For example, when team members observe a leader who consistently values planning and prioritization, the team is more likely to adopt the same habit. This alignment and focus and work ethic really creates smoother and better and more efficient workflows, fewer misunderstandings, better communication, and a shared drive towards excellence. So now I guess the real question is, what do you do next? What habit do you need to work on? So your leadership and your high-performance leadership is built on one habit at a time. Consider your current routines, be humble enough to assess them, and identify one small habit that could enhance your effectiveness. Whether it's taking 5 minutes each morning to prioritize tasks or wrapping up meetings with action steps. Start small, commit to consistency, not just intensity, and see how this one habit can make a difference in your productivity and your team's culture. And really, if you're inspired by this and you're ready to dive into high performance habits and raise the standard and drive change within your organization or your business, I'd love to connect with you and help you with that. Through my executive coaching and keynote speaking, I help leaders at every level, from CEO to supervisor to manager. They help them build habits to empower them and their teams for success. And developing high performance habits isn't just about efficiency. It's about creating a culture where everyone can thrive, not just survive. Let's explore some of these habits and leadership and how they can transform your organization. And there's one more quote that I want to share out of James Clear's book. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. Now, Jim Rohn said this years and years and years ago, but there's so much there because as leaders, we focus on setting goals, thinking that's what's going to inspire the team. But we fall to the level of our systems and our processes, and I will say our habits. So if you really want to own your goals and achieve the goals, focus more effort and energy on the systems and processes and your habits that will lead you to the goal. Because oftentimes we set goals based on previous goals. But if we set new goals and develop new processes, we may be able to accomplish something way more significant than we originally thought. So I know this sounds daunting, and this idea of habits, it impacts every area of our life, from when you wake up in the morning to how you lead, to what you have for dinner, whether or not you exercise, whether or not you meditate, whether or not you practice gratitude. It can seem daunting. But my one encouragement for you, start small, start with one habit, because you just might recognize that habit stacking is something you look forward to and you're not threatened by. And when you start doing that, your team will feel the same way, and you will start to lead with intention and lead with purpose. So I hope this episode, it's brief, but I hope it's meaningful for you. Again, the habit that you have of listening to these episodes should be a good reminder that you are somebody who can commit to habits. And so as you go throughout your week, identify that one small habit that isn't small at all. Just commit to one habit. Don't minimize it. Don't judge it. Just commit to it and just be curious about how one habit could transform the way you lead your life and your team. I hope this episode was meaningful for you. Again, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, so you can be reminded of the habits that you already have. And I'll remind you, like I do on every episode, I have a habit of reminding you of this as well, that you always have the power and the choice to reshape your mindset, live with intention, and look at the world through a grateful lens. Until the next episode, never stop.